Fair enough if you'd have got down and made a clear effort to get it near it, squarer sort of to cow region, but that was just a bit of a loose shot, really.
I think he miscued it. Ambrice on 25 faces Kuldeep, and he flicks that away past the leg slip fielder down towards fine leg. It's only a single. Score moves to 59-4-2. The plot would thicken if West Indies were to win today. They would still be in this. They've got a couple of matches left against Sri Lanka and Afghanistan. Two, you'd think, very winnable matches. Kuldeep moves in and bowls to Pooran, and Pooran is beaten. A fine delivery that moves away from the left-hander. He lunged at it. He wasn't quite sure which way this one was going to spin. And then he pushed at it, and fortunately for him, he missed it. Kuldeep, left arm over the wicket to the left-hander. It's a bit flatter, and that's chopped away, but straight to backward point. And there is no run. 59-2. Kuldeep quickly through his over. This is the final ball, just mops his brow on this pleasantly warm afternoon. Breeze going across the ground from right to left as we look at it from the Statham end. Kuldeep tosses that one up. It's driven up towards straight long on. Jadhav runs round to his right hand side and sends in the return, collected by Dhoni. And that is the end of the over. So 4 singles off the over. Kuldeep 4 overs for 17, and West Indies 60 for 2. We've had 17 overs, so they still need 209 to win from 33 overs.
Yeah, a long way to go. Just to say, well bowled there from Kuldeep, getting some good turns. You just notice his pace is down a little bit. He's sort of bowling late 40s to 50, gives it a fraction more air, a bit of time to turn. And we saw that grip off the surface. That again, it makes it just a little bit more difficult to rotate the strike when the ball is turning, hence why I think we saw that loose shot from Ambrice, a couple of deliveries. But some work to do for West Indies, but you just feel with the score, I don't feel India took the game away, and so just hanging in for another 10 overs could change this game.
Yeah, it's not done yet, not by any means. But India do have a stranglehold on this West Indian reply. It's going to be Pandya to continue from the Anderson end. Right arm round the wicket to the left-hander. It's down the leg side. It's swung away out towards deep backward square leg. One bounce 4. And it very nearly hits a steward. He's got his back to the crowd, back to the game, I should say, looking at the crowd, poor chap. But I think he just evaded him. The man in one of those yellow Dayglow jackets with a Dayglow hat on as well. It's not the greatest day out of the cricket, is it? Having to look at the crowd all day, although it's a lively crowd, but you'd rather be watching the cricket. Good stroke.
Just the 4th boundary of the innings. For his 38th ball, it took Ambrice 34 balls to hit his first ball.
Good stroke. This is Pandya bowling, and Pooran drives, doesn't really time it, but he gets it wide of Kohli. He's fielding it short extra cover and to the right of mid-off, and so you get a single. If you're a canny steward, I'm just looking around the ground there, you're sort of half cocked, you're sort of half looking at the crowd and half looking at the cricket, so you can look at the cricket out, say on that side of the ground on your right eye, and then quickly swivel around and look at the crowd at your left eye.
And there's a guy, over that side they've got seats. This side they're having to stand up, I think, but that side they've got seats, and 1 or 2 are just swifting that angle around as the game goes.
65 for 2, 18th over. Pandya now bowls to Ambrice. Ambrice dabs that down to 3rd man. Nice looking shot. Takes him to 27. 65 for 2, 18th over. Ambrice in for Andre Russell, who's out of the World Cup. He's had a knee operation in Manchester. So Barry Wilkinson, West Indian commentator and journalist, broadcaster, tweeted a picture of that yesterday or today. Russell, I mean, he was just hobbling around the tournament. It needed to be sorted out, really. 66 for 2, 18th over. Pandya moves into bowl now, and that's short, and that's hit in the air. It could well be caught. Oh, it's just over the fielder at mid-wicket. He got lucky there, and he comes back. No, he doesn't. He just gets the single. Well, it was one of those. He went on the pull, miscued it, and it went looping in the air towards mid-wicket, but fortunately for Pooran, just over mid-wicket, and he gets away with it. Just the sort of luck you need if you're going to chase down this target on this pitch.
Pandya's definitely been mixing it up. We've seen a couple of slow balls come out. That one he tried to bang it in, just rushed Pooran a fraction, lucky to get away with it.
Pooran on 23, 67 for 2, 18th over. Pandya bowls outside the off stump, and that's lifted away out towards deep mid wicket, and that's gone for 4. That's a good blow from Ambrice. Plenty of bottom hand in that one. It was outside the off stump and sent on its way out towards the point. And wide open spaces there, no fielder in the vicinity. Yeah, that's a bit more like it from West Indies. I mean, it's a bit of a hoik, but very effective.
It just feels like there might be a slight change in intent. In the last couple of overs, we've seen a few more shots played, although 1 or 2 slightly streaky. A couple of boundaries gets the run rate going, and you change the game back on the Indians.
71 for 2. Ambrice on 31, and there's a shout for LBW. He's given him out. Ambrice has gone. It was a rather innocuous one, really, from Pandya. There wasn't a great appeal from either bowler or wicketkeeper. And up went the finger, and Ambrice is on his way. He said to the non-striker, "What do you think about that?" There's an LBW shout. And his non-striking partner, Pooran, must have said, "Well, looked out to me." And West Indies are 3 down. 71 for 3. My initial thought was there was some bat in that, but clearly there wasn't, otherwise it would have been reviewed. So 71 for 3. And Hardik Pandya gets through with a slower delivery, cutting his fingers over it. It hit the top of the front pad and then hit the back pad. And it was more an inquiry, really, from Pandya than anything else. And then he's down on his knees applauding. Was he applauding the umpire or was he applauding the batsman? He was difficult to tell from the replay. He was applauding in the direction of somebody or other. Whether it might have been Dhoni who was suggesting a way to bowl to Ambrice. Anyway, after hitting him for 4, Ambrice is out next ball, and Pandya had gone for 11 from that over, but he's got a wicket. And now Shimron Hetmeyer is on his way out, although he makes his way halfway out the ground, then turns back and looks as if he wants a hat rather than a helmet. He's come out with his helmet, but he's sort of indicating that he wants a floppy sun hat. So that's, I think, the reason for the delay.
It was an interesting wicket there, wasn't it? Well, first of all, Pandya had been mixing it up a fair bit. Just seen the shift in intent from West Indies. A couple of boundaries in that possibly hurt the ego a little bit, but that one was a well-executed, slower ball. It'll be interesting to see the replay. Just on first glance from where we are, and I mean, we are some way away, it didn't feel like a sort of plumb LBW.
No, it didn't.
It felt like possible bat, possibly looping over the stumps. But the umpire seemed keen, so he's got to go.
Right. Yeah, Hetmeyer, he's given up the helmet. He's got his maroon floppy sun hat. It was a strange one because he was halfway out and then he realised, oh, no, I don't want my helmet. Now he's smiling as he makes his way out.
The partnership 55 from 11.1 overs. Ambrice 31 from 40. The stat I was about to get to before Chris Srikanth came in here, and
5 hours ago,
somewhat dominated the conversation in a hugely entertaining way. West Indies.
How would you have dealt with Chris Srikanth if he'd been at one of your gigs, Andy, and you've been the one sort of,
well, I think I'd have
giving your comedy.
Left the stage and let him get on with it. West Indies score after 10 overs, 29 for 2, was the lowest 10-over score of the tournament so far.
Well, it was a stat well worth waiting for.
Glad you think that, Simon.
8 overs later.
Yeah, it's a full toss, and that's missed by everyone. It's down the leg side. This could go for... Is it going to go for 5? No, it's not quite going to go to the boundary at fine leg. Wide has been signalled, and so they've come back for 2 runs. So 3 wides, then bowl it again. Well, that wasn't a great delivery to Pooran. It spun after he'd missed it, and it hit Dhoni on the chest, just took some of the pace off it, otherwise it would have gone through for 5 wides. 74 for 3, 32 overs left. Here is Kuldeep Yadav bowling, and forward goes Pooran, pushing it away into the offside, picked up by Kohli at extra cover, and there is no run. 269 to win.
It's bowling nicely to the left-handers. Just maybe a little bit more turn, foot marks possibly.
Kuldeep goes in and bowls, and one that pitched just outside leg stump, spun across the batsman, he had to defend it. Just looking at that LBW shout, impact in line, umpire's call, top of middle, reasonable amount of the ball striking the top of middle. Kuldeep In again and bowls, and that's dragged away. Out towards wide long on. Gets there very quickly. KL Rahul is out there and sends in the return. I mean, both these players, their instinct, Pooran and Hetmeyer, the two left-handers, is to attack. Really go for it. Pooran at times played outrageously in T20 cricket, and Hetmeyer, well, he likes to attack as well. And his shot cost West Indies, might have even cost them the game on Saturday, when he was going really well with that partnership with Gale. Tried to flog Lucky Ferguson around the leg side. Extravagant shot, was bowled. So how is he going to play against these Indian spinners? It's a real test for them. There's a long on and long off in, straight away for Hetmeyer. There's also a slip and a short extra cover. Kuldeep moves in and bowls to Hetmeyer, and Hetmeyer comes forward and miscues, pushing straight there, but it went off a thickish outside edge towards wide mid-off, and there is no run. 171 runs at 42 in this World Cup so far. Hetmeyer, here's Kuldeep bowling to him, and he strokes that away nicely on the offside, but straight to Kohli, who's fielding it mid-off, and there's no run. Keela Jadhav is in there at short extra cover. Kuldeep again bowls to Hetmeyer, struck on the pad, shout for LBW. Kuldeep wants it and he gets it, and immediately the batsman reviews it. Well, he's that 75 for 4. Kuldeep wanted it, he kept on with the appeal, he really sensed that was close.
The on-field decision is out. Can we start with the front foot first, please?
Hetmeyer reviewed it straight away, which suggests he might have got an inside edge on it.
Thank you, that's a fair delivery. Can we have front on spin vision, please?
Right, here we go. Did he get something on this?
Okay, reverse.
Push
angle,
forward.
Can we just zoom in on that, please? Deepak?
I think he might have gone inside edge.
Yeah.
Might have done.
Okay, thank you. Just rock and roll that, please. Right, roll through.
Yes, he did. He did.
Yeah, okay, there's clearly bat involved. Can we go back to Richard on field, please? Richard, got conclusive evidence that the ball has hit the bat. I'll get you to reverse your decision. You're on field, on screen now.
There we go. Managed to overturn that. Richard Kettleborough and Richard Illingworth are our standing umpires today. That was given by Richard Kettleborough. Michael Goff saw enough evidence, and I think we saw enough evidence as well.
Yeah, we did
to say that should have been overturned.
He got a big stride in, didn't he? That was the key, and his bat was out. You know, sometimes you see batters go with the bat and pad together. His bat was clearly out in front, and there was that small deflection. And straight away, initially, as soon as it went up, he reviewed it. So, why are you laughing? He's bringing the helmet out.
Hetmeyer's come out with his helmet on, and then he went back for his floppy, and then they brought the helmet on, so he's out there for 1 over, but as you were, because there's another spinner going to bowl, is Keela Jadhav, so he was going to get the helmet, but saw Jadhav's going to bowl, so he's continuing with the floppy sun hat. And we're going to be in for a late finish, possibly, today. 25 minutes of overtime in that India innings. They made 268 for 7. Kohli making 72, Dhoni 56 not out, and Pandya 46, and Rahul 48. But not a straightforward pitch, a used surface. All the sides in this World Cup play on one used surface, so it's not random, it's spread around. Here is Jadhav, his first ball is driven firmly out towards extra cover by Pooran, who's on 24, 75 for 3, start of the 20th over. There's Jadhav bowling, and a bit short, it's chopped away, and he finds the gap there between backward point and short third man. It's going out towards the boundary, and it's gone for 4. Sliding attempt is unsuccessful, and Pooran gets a boundary off Keela Jadhav, and the score goes to 79 for 3 in the 20th over. You just looked at me as if I told the biggest, fattest lie.
No, not at all. I was thinking that's a lot of work. So you're basically saying, so most grounds are preparing 2 strips, aren't they? And are you saying that every team is rotating through, so they only play on a reused...
Play on a reused surface once.
That's some good maths.
Pooran on 28 with that boundary. Jadhav with his slingy action bowls, and forward goes Pooran playing up the offside, and there is no run. A fresh pitch for semi-finals and final. And England against India at Edgbaston will be played on a fresh pitch on Sunday as well. A pitch that hasn't been used already in the tournament.
Was the India-Afghanistan game on a used pitch? I feel like that was.
I wasn't there, so I'm not sure.
Southampton, I think it was.
I think I was there on Monday. 79 for 3. Janav bowls. It's full. Yorker length outside the off stump. Pooran tries to drive, doesn't time it. I think the game on Monday, from memory, was played on the same pitch as been used the previous Saturday. So I don't think it was a used pitch, but the one on Monday obviously was the one used on the Saturday, so that was the used pitch. Janav was a real slinger, round armour, and they're going to get through for a run. Dhoni doesn't take it cleanly. It's a bye signal. He tried to reverse sweep there, so it's not a wide, even though notionally it was down the leg side.
It's incredible he hasn't put his shoulder out here, isn't it? He's literally bowled it from stump high, come round the waist.
It's like a slow Malinga, or spinner Malinga, sort of round arm bowling.
The drop of the knee as well.
80 for 3. Last ball of the 20th. Janav bowls and forward goes Hetmeyer, pushing that away on the offside. There is no run. It is the end of the over. I think we've got another double change coming up. Ishiguro is going to replace me. It's 80 for 3, 20 overs gone. The target is 269 to win for West Indies.
Yeah, well, a long way to go. The run rate has just upped a little bit, despite the wicket just a couple of overs ago. You're just seeing a shift in intent from Pooran. He's trying to get things moving. Hetmeyer still not troubled the scoreboard yet, but I just wonder if West Indies can stay in another 10 overs and they can throw the game back to India. I don't know who is on or who isn't on, so I'm going to leave it to you.
I think I'm on now, yes. Thanks, Ebony. Andy, what was the score when Carlos came to the crease the other day against New Zealand? As Kuldeep Yadav will continue from the Brian Statham and the left arm leg spinner for India with his floppy hair bowls. A genuine leg spinner. He's got a slip in play to the left-handed Nicholas Pooran, who's on 28. As Yadav comes through again, and that's launched into the air, but it should be a catch for Mohammad Shami. He stands underneath it and takes it comfortably. Nicholas Pooran hangs over his front leg. He shadows that shot again to play it straighter. He now smashes the bat into the ground, and he has to depart for 28. The Indian fans celebrating around the ground. The reverberations felt in the temporary stand over to our left as India come together again. Another wicket falls, 80 for 4 in the 21st over. Pooran punches his bat now as he walks towards the dressing room, and Curtly Ambrose, more disappointment for the West Indies.
I don't know why he's upset with himself. It was a poor attempt of a shot, really. Batting quite nicely, and decided to give it away again. So he should be upset, really. And West Indies slump into further trouble, 80 for 4. And not looking good at all for them. Not looking good.
A few arm swings for Jason Holder as he crosses over into the inner circle. A couple of hamstring stretches as he bends over. Bat in his hand as he now passes the 12th man and approaches Shimron Hetmeyer with his floppy hat on. And they now punch gloves. He walks to the crease as the Indian fielders disperse. Mohammad Shami just having a laugh and a joke with Rishabh Pant, who was the 12th man for today. Looking quite jovial down there by the boundary as Holder marks his middle stump guard. Kuldeep Yadav just chatting to Virat Kohli about the field that he once said. He's saying, I want another slip in, Kuldeep Yadav, but Virat Kohli saying, settle down, we'll take that person out, and they will go out to the deep backward square boundary, square leg, mid-wicket. There's a deep mid-wicket, long on, long off, extra, and a point. As Kuldeep Yadav, the left arm leg spinner, comes in off an angle. Holder drives beautifully out to long off to get off strike. And that's his first run, 81 for 4 in the 21st. And Shimron Hetmyer, well, he's yet to get off the mark. So testing times once again for the West Indies. Did you have that score, Carlos Brathwaite, as field changes for the left-hander? Hetmyer drives out to long off for a single. And he's off the mark now, 82 for 4 in the 21st over.
Brathwaite came in at 142 for 4 in the 23rd over, chasing 292 to win against New Zealand after 2 wickets had fell in 2 balls.
As Kuldeep bowls Holder back and across, clips it out to deep backward square for a single. Moves to 283 for 4. 1 ball left of this over. Has picked up a wicket. Has Kuldeep Yadav, Nicholas Pooran looking to go big and take it over long off. Unfortunately for him, it just found the hands of Mohammad Shami. So final ball of the over as Yadav bowls flatter to Shimron Hetmyer on the back foot, cutting out to deep cover for a single. They settle for the 1 after 21 overs then. 84 for 4. Holder on 2, Hetmyer on 2, and a rebuilding job is necessary once again. The target 269, 186 runs inside 29 overs.
A good build-up for pressure from Kuldeep Yadav. His first 5 overs went for 18 off the bat, plus 3 wides and no boundaries. That finally caused the batsman to crack.
That's the game plan, isn't it, Curtly, for India? They bring the spinners on in the middle overs and they just squeeze.
Yes, because I'm quite sure that Captain Virat Kohli and the rest of his team would have done the research and know that the West Indians aren't very patient people. And if you keep them quiet enough, they're definitely going to go and have a big swing, like Pooran did just a few ball deliveries ago.
Virat Kohli sensing an opportunity. Kedar Jadhav was ready to bowl, but he says no. I'm not going to have a part-timer on right now when I've got 2 batters in on 2 apiece. So Yuzvendra Chahal will come into the attack to bowl his first over of this innings. Blue towel hanging out the back of his trousers as he marks his run up at the James Anderson end. Chahal with his glasses on just rehearses a couple of deliveries to Virat Kohli, and it will be Shimron Hetmyer to face him, the left-hander, just having a look out to the leg side boundary. It's a long on, deep mid-wicket and a deep backward square. There's a long off and everyone else inside the ring on the offside. Slip in play is Chahal. Asked slip to just come a little bit wider. He comes through now for his first delivery. Hetmyer drives a full toss out to long off. They come through for a quick single but settle for 1 as the throw comes in from Kuldeep Yadav. How do they look to play this now, Curtly?
Well, they got to rebuild the innings, Captain Jason Holder and Hetmyer. So they got a long way to go. They got to rebuild. They can't afford to lose another wicket or 2 too quickly, or else they could be in real trouble. So they got to rebuild, try to keep getting the 1s and 2s, and the odd boundary will come. Just have a little patience and don't lose your head.
Bright sunshine here at Old Trafford as Holder drives past extra cover out to deep cover, who moves to his right to send the ball in. Come through with 1. Holder to 3, 86 for 4 in the 22nd. Run rate of 4.03 for the West Indies. Hetmyer just adjusts his gloves and is looking straight down the ground. There's 2 men back straight on the boundary. That's generally where he's been finding singles. As the diminutive Chahal tosses it up and he's nearly bowled. Though he misses it though, I think it hits his glove and it runs on down in front of us to the boundary. So he'll pick up buys for that. Will the West Indies, as Rohit Sharma collects the ball, his hat comes off in the process. Just tossed up a little bit more and a bit of spin on offer.
Yes, certainly turned a bit, well, turned quite a lot. And Dhoni couldn't quite cope. Hetmeyer with that big extra cover drive missed it completely. And he's got to be careful here. You don't want to lose another wicket.
Hetmeyer spins the bat in his hand. Open stance to the right arm leg spinner. Chahal bowls. Hetmeyer forward. Inside edge out to square leg. He comes through for one. As mid wicket runs around to get the ball. Jadeja on the field of play. I'm not sure for who at this stage. Andy is. They come through. So Jason Holder just prodding at the pitch. There's a deep backward square. Two men straight in deep cover as Chahal is through his action. Holder drives to extra cover, no run. It's a big flourishing drive from Jason Holder, the West Indian captain. Still got to slip in as it's tossed up again, and this time he's able to hit it a bit squarer. Jason Holder out to deep cover for one. The 22 overs bowled, 92 for 4. Holder on 4 and Hetmeyer on 4. And Hardik Pandya is a man to return to the field. Jadeja will come off. Tubey grip on his arms. Is just chatting to Jadeja now about where he should be positioned. Hetmeyer, 250s in the last 2 games that he played. Curtly, he's a very capable cricketer, although in the past he has had some issues against spin.
He's certainly capable, but what I find with a lot of these young West Indians is not so much the skill that comes into question. They've got the skills. It's just that the temperament, they're not patient enough, and every time a bowler seems to be on top of them a little bit, they try to go after the bowler, outright attack, and get themselves out. That's not how cricket is played. You've got to respect good bowling from time to time.
Kuldeep Yadav continues from the Brian Statham end. Jason Holder is forward to defend it. A no run. As he looks over to the leg side field now, he's so tall in front of the stumps. His pads are probably stump high as Holder is back in his crease, and I think a wide signal. He didn't get any sort of bat on that or pad as Dhoni collects it, so just straying in line on that occasion from Yadav as he's through again, a bit flatter this time, and nearly bowled, very nearly bowled. They go up for the appeal. Just wonder if there was an inside edge onto the pad. I'll have to take a look at it again. Virat Kohli is gesturing to say, why was that not out? He's asking Kuldeep Yadav now whether...
Maybe height. Jason Holder is a tall man.
It was close. The dearest time has now run out, so... A leg spinning delivery. And it has hit him on the back of the leg. I think it's just done too much, Curtly, as Kuldeep bowls again, and Holder pushes that out to the deep cover boundary. There's no one out there, but Hardik Pandya is chasing after it. They come back for an easy 2, pretty much just walked 5 steps, Jason Holder, to get back to the other end. It's the beauty of being tall, Curtly, I suppose. And he takes a couple of strides and you're between the wickets.
Well, of course.
I wonder when the googlies coming. Kuldeep bowls again, a leg spinner to Holder, who works it to mid-wicket. Something that is seriously improved in his game, isn't it, Jason Holder, is his batting.
Yes, he has improved quite a lot. He loves his batting, I can tell you that.
This time looking to work it to the leg side, off the pad, and they come through for 1. It falls in front of square leg as Dhoni runs out to collect it. And we're just looking at that replay. It pitches outside the off stump.
Turn a mile.
Turns, it hits him on the back pad, and it's missing the leg stump by about, what would you say, 10 centimetres? As Shimron Hetmeyer just assesses the leg side field, crouches over, backing across, and cuts past extra cover out to deep cover. A good length delivery, but just, well, a back of a length delivery. outside the off stump. 97 for 4 then after 23 overs. Kuldeep Yadav 1 for 29 from his 7 overs. Holder 6, Hetmeyer 5, and it very much seems like a plan from India and Virat Kohli to kind of separate the two leg spinners. Generally he's always bringing Kuldeep in first, and then he's got plenty of overs from Chahal up his sleeve later on.
Yes, and the plan seems to be working quite well. You know, they've been getting wickets. West Indies can't get on top of them. So the plan is working quite well at the moment. And he's saying, Virat Kohli probably saying to Hetmeyer and Captain Jason Holder, if you want to come after the spinners, come after them. It's your choice.
So Chahal will continue from the James Anderson end to Shimron Hetmeyer, who's wearing a long-sleeved maroon shirt. His bleached hair hiding underneath his floppy hat, Carl Hooper style, as the left-hander sets up a couple of bat taps. It's on the ground at the moment as the bat comes up and he's back in his crease, but slamming it into the pitch and it falls in front of extra cover. Virat Kohli there, who picks up the ball and throws it to Chahal. It's got man at deep backward square, deep mid-wicket, long on, long off. As Chahal is through, Shimron Hetmeyer down the ground and playing it out to long on aerially. Comes through for 1. 98 for 4, Hetmeyer to 6 in the 24th over. That target 269, and if anything, that Carlos Brathwaite innings the other day just shows that it's never over. So that might give these two a bit of confidence to know, look, let's just try and take it deep. As Holder stands in front of MS Dhoni, towering above him. As the slip comes back in to the right-handed West Indian captain. Square just goes backward of the umpire as Chahal bowls to Holder. Misses it. Through to the keeper.
That's exactly why the slip is there. There's a bit of turn of the surface. And that's a good plan by Virat Kohli. Keep the pressure on.
Again, beats the bat. This time, though, a bit shorter. He's back in his crease, looking to cut out to deep cover. The spider cam hovers above the seam. Just around short third as Chahal bowls a bit slower. It's in the air and straight to the fielder. The plan works. He points immediately to the captain, Virat Kohli, does Yuzvendra Chahal. Kedar Jadhav with the catch he was an extra cover but sat back deep on the edge of the inner circle. There was a man close catching a little bit squarer, and the plan has worked perfectly. Just a couple of quicker deliveries and then the tossed up one outside the off stump. Jason Holder, his bat is underneath his armpit. He looks over to his left as he walks off the pitch towards the dressing room just in front of us here. His gloves are off and it's more disappointment for the West Indies. Frustration, but India have been all over it, Kirtley.
They certainly have. I mean, it was a poor shot on the part of Jason Holder. He's a much better player than that. Missed twice, and then saw this one looped a little bit, eyes open wide, figure he could get it, and he just hit it straight to extra cover. He didn't even try to go over the infield, so soft dismissal in my opinion, but very good bowling by Chahal. Really bowled well.
98 for 5 then, the West Indies in the 24th over. Hetmeyer on 6. Chahal figures of 1 for 5 in his second over.
Not a great day for West Indies batsmen, but extras are doing superbly. 16 of them so far, including 9 byes, and that's the most byes MS Dhoni has ever conceded in a one-day international innings. This is the 346th time he's kept wicket in an ODI, 343 for India, 3 for the Asia 11, and the most byes he previously conceded was 8 against Australia in Visakhapatnam way back in 2010.
MS, your standards are dropping. What's happening? It's not a good day when you're relying on extras, Kirtley.
Yeah, certainly not. And West Indies are in further trouble. Can Collis Brathwaite come to the rescue this time?
Well, he's facing the final ball of the over. He's forward and smothering the ball to defend it. So no run to him. Comes in tricky spots. Nearly gets West Indies over the line against New Zealand at that superb 100. When everyone had written off the West Indies, they were out of the game, and he gave them some hope. What can he do here? You can't keep asking Collis Brathwaite to get you out of trouble, surely, but he's out in the middle at 98 for 5 once more. A few more words from you, Kirtley, and then it'll be Prakash Wakanka.
Well, he's got 26 overs, to try and get to this 269 for victory. He's out there with Shimron Hetmyer, and these two are really, the last hope of West Indies winning this game. So with 26 overs to go, they got more than enough time, but it's 269 looking more like 400. Can they get it? Well, it's not going to be easy.
No, certainly not, but I think you just get the feeling, don't you, Kirtley, that the good work done with the ball is being sort of thrown away with some shot selection which has not been very good at all.
Yes, a couple of soft dismissal. I mean, they crumble into the pressure. They can't get the big hit. They can't get the 4s and the 6s that they're accustomed to.
You mentioned that earlier.
Exactly, and if they can't get that, they tend to get themselves out. But there are 1s and 2s in cricket as well.
Absolutely.
But they're not doing that. So whenever they can't get the boundaries, they just try something expansive and keep getting out.
Well, Virat Kohli brings Jasprit Bumrah back. His first spell was 4 overs done for 6, and just looking to try and pick up another wicket or two here. Knows the danger that someone like Brathwaite can pose. Hetmyer at the other end on 6. Brathwaite has just faced the 1 ball, and here's Bumrah. Slip in place, third man, sweeper cover, back foot point cover, mid-off. Back to offside field, he goes in and bowls, and it's defended to mid-on. There's no run. Bright sunshine. Yes, the Indian spinners are good. They asking questions, but the application just seemed to be lacking.
I couldn't agree more. I mean, I've been saying this from ever since I can remember, that these West Indians, they have no patience, and they need to respect good bowling from time to time. They're not doing that.
Soak up the pressure, wait for the bad ball. He's bound to come along, but here's Bumrah now into Hetmyer bowls, and he's running it down to backward point. No run. 98 for 5 in the 25th West Indies. 269 is the target, and really that early loss of Chris Gayle often just sets the innings back a bit, but then you felt, and Kirtley Ambrose said that right at the beginning, that they just got to respect the early spell, which was very, very good and disciplined by Bumrah and Shami. Chris Gayle looking for the hoik through mid-wicket, just ended up holding out to short wide mid-on, and that's where it all began, really. Bumrah in, bowls, short bouncer, it's pulled along the ground, nicely played. He'll get a couple as Pandya will run around from mid-on to field, and 2 more to the West Indies total, which brings up their 100. It's 100 for 5 in the 25th, so 169 to get in 25 overs. Ordinarily not impossible by any stretch. Can the West Indies keep their cool and build towards that total?
Certainly not impossible, but with half of the batting already back in the pavilion, it's not going to be easy.
That being said, why should a World Cup game be easy?
Well,
for anyone,
of course not.
And we saw Pakistan play a very different form of cricket yesterday to win convincingly against New Zealand in the end. Here's Bumrah bowls, and this one's worked away nicely off his toes down towards back to the square for a single. They're looking for the second. This could be trouble. Gets back, does Brathwaite. And the last thing the West Indies now want is a run out. Mercifully, that didn't happen. 101 for 5. Virat Kohli marshalling his resources, moving personnel around. Slip goes in. Rohit Sharma walks back into his position at slip. Rahul comes in at backward point. Kuldeep Yadav down at third man. Zadav patrolling the sweeper cover area. Virat Kohli himself at extra cover. Pandya at the edge of the circle at mid-off. Shami at mid-on. And Vijay Shankar at mid-wicket with Chahal down at long leg. Here's Bumrah. In he comes, bowls. Slow Yorker. And was in the air just for a little bit. And Virat Kohli diving forward, not able to quite get there. Intelligently bowled again by Bumrah.
He's a wonderful bowler. Wonderful bowler, Bumrah. Very clever. Got good variations. He's got pace. Got a good slow ball.
This was a very well bowled ball. Just watching it on the replay there. And Brathwaite, taken by surprise, blocked it. It sort of ballooned to where a very short extra cover might have been. But fortunately for the West Indies, no damage done. Bumrah in, bowls to Brathwaite. Now the fired in Yorker. And Brathwaite does well to dig it out. What wonderful skill. 25 bowled, it's 101 for 5.
Certainly is a skilled bowler, Bumrah. Very, very unusual action, very unusual approach to the crease, but so effective and an asset to the England bowling lineup.
Undoubtedly. In fact, his run up to the wicket, Kirtley, always reminds me of driving on a really bad pothole road back in India with the jerk and start, and then suddenly, when the projectile leaves the hand, it is a mean piece of leather coming at you at some speed. Andy?
Just 6 boundaries for West Indies today, one of them off the inside edge, and they're a team that's heavily dependent on boundaries. No team in this tournament has scored a higher proportion of its runs in 4 and 6s. 52% of their runs have been in 4 and 6s, and West Indies have the second highest dot ball percentage, so India managed to keep those dot balls going and stop them scoring the boundaries.
That tells a tale. Thank you, Andy. As always, a very incisive analysis. Thick inside edge. And the ball runs down to 45. They'll pick up a single. Hetmeyer will go to 10. And the total 102 for 5 in the 26th. What's Brathwaite got in mind? This weight of expectation will be on his shoulders.
Thank you very much for that, Andy. That only strengthens my point. Thank you. When I say they can't get the boundaries, they soak up a lot of dot balls. Can't get 1s and 2s. And that is, you're never going to be a great team if you play like that.
More changes to the field. Dhoni from behind the wickets, as he always does, marshalling the angles, getting the fielders in the right place. They now have a shot catching extra cover and then another extra cover, almost like an extra cover, right at the edge of the 30-yard circle. Chahal bowls and Brathwaite drives with the full face of the bat out towards long off for a single, 103 for 5. And he's off the mark with that run. So what proportion of dot balls are they typically playing at?
So thus far in the tournament, 56% dot balls.
Wow.
Just check on